Hello everyone. Once again, I welcome you to my YouTube channel. Still continuing with the theme of information literacy. This is going to be our fourth video. So this fourth video is going to have plagiarism. Most of us who are doing research, especially in our final semesters, that is all final year, those guys doing bachelors, doing masters, PhDs, we always do something called research. And when you do research and present your work to your professor, the professor subjects your work to what they call plagiarism check, to check if you've not carried out any form of plagiarism. Well, in this video, I'm going to be telling you what plagiarism is, so that you understand and you don't make a mistake of doing it, or so you avoid it. Still, I've prepared a presentation here I'm going to use to show you what plagiarism is. Let's pay attention. Let's make sure we follow up for the rest of the videos. I told you by the end of these sessions, you're going to know what information literacy is truly, and you're going to be equipped with information literacy skills. So today we have plagiarism, and this is still under information literacy. It's going to be presented to you by Kenyetono Esther from Guru University. So what is plagiarism? Here we find a definition of plagiarism. What does it mean? Plagiarism involves intentional use by paraphrase or direct quotation of published or unpublished work of another person. Paraphrase, I mean by when I say paraphrase, I mean like you get someone's words, you change them into another form of English, or you don't use the exact ones, but still maintaining the meaning of the statement from where you got it from. Direct quotation, you pick it from the person's work, put it in your work and quote it, showing that it's not your own words, whether the work is published or unpublished. Yeah, so plagiarism also includes unacknowledged use of materials prepared by another person. So let's start suspecting something to do with a criminal offense. Once you carry out plagiarism, it's criminal offense. But let's dig deep and see what plagiarism is before we call it a criminal offense. So these are types of plagiarism. We have 4 types of plagiarism. We have direct plagiarism, we have self-plagiarism, we have mosaic plagiarism, and then accidental plagiarism. So let's start with the first one, that's direct plagiarism. What's direct plagiarism? When I say someone has done direct plagiarism, this means that okay, in this context, it's like here a word is transcribed from a section of someone else's work without quoting or attributing it. You're going to get this statement someone used in their research or their work, then you put it in your work or your research. You won't quote it, you've copied it directly. You won't quote it or acknowledge the person, so you just leave it there. And in most cases, you may think that even the professor may not realize that you've got it from somewhere, so you want him to take it that it's your words. But my dear, this can be like identified, because once your work is subjected to that platform where you can check from whether someone has done plagiarism or not, it will show where you got that statement from. So we have self-plagiarism. This occurs when one submits their previous work, or they mix current work with some parts of the previous work without the professor's consent. This comes in that in your semester one of the lecturers gives you a coursework, you go and make research about it. Then your semester 2 comes, another lecturer, it may not be the same lecturer, it can be the same, gives you another question that is related to the question you had in your same one for your coursework. So instead of you wasting your time feeling, it's hectic to do coursework, research, you're going to go back to your old coursework, carry it. Sometimes you can carry it the way it is, just change the date and all that stuff, and then you hand it in, or you copy most of the parts in your old coursework and you put it in your new coursework. When that lecturer subjects it to checking if it's plagiarism has been carried out or not, you'll be got. Because if you handed in your soft copy for the former work, he still has your soft copy, so he will know that you got your work from the previous work, and they'll get you, which is criminal offense. Your work is subject to being invalid, or they'll disqualify your research work or your coursework and give you 0 marks. This is really dangerous. Don't do it. We have a third one called mosaic plagiarism. Here, a student borrows a number of phrases from a source or different sources into his or her work without quoting borrowed phrases. You see that you research about something like technological advancement, and they'll give you so many sources of information of technological advancement. So what you're going to do, you're going to go picking small portions from each source, and then you make your work so beautiful with nice English. But when it's subjected to plagiarism check, it is going to show all the sources where you picked those words. And it is worse if you've not quoted. If you've quoted, that's good, and you acknowledge the person who owns that work that you got. But if you've not quoted, that's plagiarism. So you always have to acknowledge whenever you pick any statement from anywhere, quote it and acknowledge the source or cite it. That one's going to save you. But when you don't quote, that means you have stolen. Let me call it stealing. You have stolen someone's work and you're making it yours, yet it's not yours. So always don't forget to quote and then acknowledge the person who owns the source of information that you're using. So the fourth type is accidental plagiarism. This occurs unintentionally when a person phrases a source by using similar words or same sentence structure and forgets to attribute them or quote them, or neglects citing their work or their sources. So here you're going to write your work very well, and some instances where you're going to make personal research, but the statements you're going to use in your work could be similar to certain source of information, to someone's work, and they look the same. They'll still take that as plagiarism. Then also, you forget to cite your work. Just forgetting, because you write your work and you go through it and you feel like, yeah, it's all done. But you've forgotten to go through it well because there are some portions where you've not cited or quoted or acknowledged the source of information. So in most cases, I would advise you that when you do your work or your coursework or your research, kindly get your work, go and get that software or that platform that you can use to check if your work is rhyming with someone else's work before you hand in your work, because it can also, you can also do it on your own and you check if any mistakes are in your work. That will help you. By the time you submit your work, it will be perfect because the lecturer or the professor will subject it to plagiarism check. And once they find out that you've done plagiarism, disqualification, automatic disqualification. If he's kind enough, he will call you and tell you to redo the work or correct the parts. That's if he's kind enough. Yeah. So let's go and see something else. Caution: any form of plagiarism is punishable by law, and it can also lead to disqualification of your research work. Yeah, I've seen cases where someone has done their masters, they have done their research, then they get their sources of information, their work, and the time it's going to be checked, they discover that it is sometimes exactly someone else's work, or some portions are not quoted, some portions are not cited, and that is stealing. They will take that as stealing. And if the owner of the source of information you've got from gets to know that, that person has a right to sue you. And that's what will happen to you after. So all your work can be disqualified by the professor or to be made invalid. But if the professor is good enough, they can always tell you to go and redo or change the parts with mistakes. We come to the end of our session. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me time. Thank you for giving my video time. I hope you've learned something. I want you to avoid plagiarism in anything that you're doing concerning academic writing, research, anything. Avoid what they call plagiarism. Be so careful. Always quote, always cite, always read through your work very well. Yes, so that's what I had for you today in this video. Thank you for listening. Let's meet up in the next video. We shall see what it will be about. So for now, that's what I had for you for today. That's what I had for you for this video. Don't forget to share this link to your friends, because you all need these information literacy skills. So by sharing, you'll be doing good. So thank you for today. Thank you for now. Let's catch up in the next video.